Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm sorry about the fuzziness in the background. I don't know what that is, but it's not too bad. Um, Back with another review, and this time I saw The Assassin Next Door. This is a crime thriller film directed by Danny Lerner from 2009, and it stars Olga Kurylenko, Nina Tayeb, uh, Zohar Strauss. Yeah, and Zohar Strauss. Um, in this film. In an old apartment building on the wrong side of the tracks, two women, unknown to each other, live across the hall on the second floor. Galia is an assassin involved against her will with the local sex traffic mafia. All she wants is to reunite with her little daughter that she left back home in Ukraine. Eleanor is a grocery store cashier and a battered wife. She dreams of winning the lottery and running away from her abusive husband. Galia and Eleanor don't know each other, but as neighbors they share two things: an adjoining wall and a strong need to plan their escape. As Galia disobeys her latest contract, a woman target, and Eleanor discovers that she's pregnant, the two women decide to take action against their oppressors in a fight for survival and freedom. So, what did I think of The Assassin Next Door? Now, I have reviewed this before in a short review. This is another one of those I kind of just spur of the moment, wanted to review a movie, watch a movie tonight, and um, I decided to watch this again because I wanted to see if it still held up. My original review was a 9 out of 10. It's gone down a little bit, but not because I found new flaws, but because I did weigh it a bit more like I usually do. I do think it's a good movie. I do think it is definitely worth your time. Especially if you're a fan of Olga Kurylenko, because I think this is one of her best performances. Now, let me get to the cast. Olga Kurylenko plays Galia. She's been sex trafficked and she's working as an assassin in order to get out of it. It's never really made clear if there is a way for her to get out of it, like by working for them. Kind of seems like they're just using her. And it's a sad reality, but Olga plays this role to perfection. And again, I do think this is one of her best performances. Now, Olga Kurylenko is an actress that I have really liked for a long time. I've always thought that she was an underrated talent, that not enough people have used her in the way they should. She's been mostly sidelining a lot of movies, again, like the James Bond film Quantum of Solace, even though they did give her quite a lot to do, which I do enjoy that is a more character-focused Bond film because you gave the Bond girl a lot more to do. And she was in Hitman, which I still like her in Hitman, I do, but seeing her in films like The Courier, which was decent, and Momentum, which was good, in the starring role, showed me that yes, she can pull this off, and she needs more chances to do that because I just really love her. She's again, she does a fantastic job in this film. Um, she has some really nice, heartfelt moments. I buy her as this assassin character. It doesn't feel like they just put a pretty woman in an action movie, and I think yes, I think she was the right person for the job. Nina Tayeb, I might have butchered that, but as Eleanor, battered wife, this is apparently her first role, her first film role, because she's listed as a singer. Um, I don't know her band, but I'm guessing this was supposed to be just her breakthrough role, and I think she does a pretty damn good job. She's really good, and I feel like if she wasn't as good as she is in this, it could have massively affected the film because you wouldn't have believed the that she's going through this shit, but you do. You believe that this character is going through the things that she's going through, and it really does help with certain parts of this movie that feel a bit underdeveloped. Um, and Zohar Strauss as Eleanor's husband, he's never given a name. He's barely in the film. He doesn't really say anything, I don't think. I don't think you get any actual audible dialogue from him. But he was fine. But this film, this is it's just a really effective character drama thriller that sorry, losing myself for a sec. This is a film that is really effective at what it's trying to do, which is tug at your heartstrings, deliver a thrilling piece of entertainment, and whenever there's action, it's well done. Apparently, I mean, I'm gonna take IMDb trivia at face value and not and assume that this is true. Apparently, the way this film was done, action wise, relationship wise, and everything, was a tribute to Luc Besson, and I can see that. One with it having to do with hitmen, or a hit woman in this case, and the chemistry, the friendly chemistry between Galia and Eleanor, which was a nice touch, and you feel it. That these characters, when they come together, when they become friends, bonding over their past life experiences and current life experiences, you feel something because these are two really great actors who know what they're doing. They aren't just people that were thrown into a movie and they're insisting that there's actual chemistry between them as friends. No, you actually feel it, and it really adds something to what could have been just a forgettable action thriller. I'm going to clear this up because this is something that I hate. I don't think this film did this, but if you see this poster with her with the gun, which is what a lot of these like crime dramas do or character dramas do, where they show somebody on the cover with a gun and then there's like no action. There is action in this film. Do not go into this film expecting an action movie. Go into it expecting a character drama about crime, and it's kind of a lot of things. There's the drama between the two. There's the drama in their lives and what they're dealing with. Um, it's kind of a thriller, especially near the end. Um, yeah, it's a lot of things, but I would not straight up call this an action movie. A lot of this film is slow building tension and slowly introducing you to these characters so that you care about them for when they're in danger later. And I think this film does a great job at that. It I have not seen any of Danny Lerner's other films. Um, he made a film called Search and Destroy that I've had on my watch list about that's supposed to be kind of a throwback to action films back in the day. I'll try to watch that at some point. Um, but this guy is associated with Millennium Films. I don't know if this is. No, it is not produced by Millennium. Um, this guy is associated with Millennium Films. He produced a lot of films, and his brother is Avi Lerner, one of the creators of Millennium, who used to work at Canon. Um, this does kind of feel like a film that they would make, though, especially in this era of like 2005 to 2010 when they were starting to get into more theatrical films. This still does feel a bit more independent. Like there are other films like Double Identity and Endgame and what's the other one? Well, you get what I mean. These are their films where they're starting to get a bit higher budgets. This film was made for $3 million, and I gotta say, for the budget, this film looks pretty alright. It doesn't look cheap. The only thing that think could give away the budget, and this is if you are hyper focused on certain things like I am, this film does have a high frame rate, most likely due to it being shot on video. And I only say that it might be shot on video because there are moments where like the low light parts look a bit. Sorry about that. the The low light parts do look a bit shaky, like in the film quality. For the most part, this film looks pretty high quality in like picture. Um, and I watched it on Tubi because there were other places the movie was where it was in like 360p and it looked like shit. But I did find it on Tubi and it looked better. Um, but yeah, that this other than the high frame rate, this film does not look cheap to me. I think it looks as theatrical as it could, or as thematic as it could. Um, and it's not like a distracting thing. The high frame rate thing for certain people can be very distracting. It really depends with me. The movie I watched last night, Stir of Echoes 2, that was way more distracting. The opening scene and the scene near the end being like super like high frame rate. Sorry, I'm tired. But yeah. This is well, on the subject of the action, there really isn't that much. There's a chase scene at the beginning. There's a couple of hits that the main character does, which aren't, I wouldn't exactly class as action scenes. Um, there's a couple gunfights, not super long ones. The longest one is at the end when she's trying to escape. But yeah, when there is action, it does have a nice punch to it. There's a shot on the bus with her and with Galia and Eleanor where they're like shooting out the windows and shooting across the bus and you see sparks flying everywhere and it's in slow-mo and it looks really impressive actually. I think it would have looked a bit better if they had 24 frames, but maybe they didn't know how to do that. Or maybe they were going for this shot on video look, which I don't know why you'd ever go for that because shot on video doesn't usually look that good. But whatever. Um, it's still an impressive feat of filmmaking for this low budget. And this is low budget. 3 million, even though you can stretch 3 million more in a European country than in especially around Israel, where this was shot, than in like America. It looks really good, this film, for the most part. Um, but yeah, story wise, I do think this has a pretty engaging story. I find Galia and Eleanor to be very interesting characters. And I think that again, they play the roles very, very, very well, especially Olga Kurlenko. Um, I think they have a lot of sweet moments together that where you really buy them as friends. Like Eleanor works at a supermarket or a grocery store, and uh, Gali is about to buy something, and then she's like, "No, no, don't get that. Get these. Buy one get one free." Basically that, and never get milk from the front. Get it from the back. And then she like puts it on her tab to like thank her for helping her, and they really build this nice rapport, and that is one of the biggest strengths of this movie is these characters feel like they actually like each other. They don't look like they want to claw each other's eyes out. And it really does add some nice relief to a film that is, to be honest, very serious. It is about sex trafficking at certain points. It's also about, again, hitmen. She's a hit woman that doesn't want to be one. So you have a lot of scenes that are hard to watch at times, but in a good way. I don't think this film ever gets exploitative. There's literally no sex in it, even though she's supposed to be a sex slave, or not sex slave, but a sex worker, like mafia sex worker. There is a small bit of nudity, which it made sense. She was being cleansed or whatever. I think it's a custom in Israel or wherever this was supposed to be set. I think it's supposed to be set in Russia or not Russia. No, maybe it is supposed to be set in Israel. But yeah, um, kind of hard to talk about this movie right now. I am tired, but yeah, like overall, I do think at certain points this film could have the pacing could have been punched up a bit because it didn't need to be an hour and 49 minutes. On Letterboxd, this is an hour and 42 minutes. If it was like an hour and 40, I think it would have flown a bit better at certain times or flowed a bit better because there are certain moments that go on a bit too long. Um, I will say there's a nice bit of filmmaking in a bar scene or a club scene where Galia is going after one of her targets and it's done in this really nice long take. Usually long takes have to do something interesting for me to like really enjoy them now because people overuse them. But seeing one from back in 2009 when this came out was nice and it was very impressive given the budget that they were working with. Um, But yeah, if you like Olga Kurylenko as an actress, if you like thrillers, if you like dramas, watch this. It's on Tubi. It's free. Um, yeah, I do ultimately recommend it. And that was my review of The Assassin Next Door or Kirot. If you've seen the film, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you want me to review next. And movie review next door out.